I placed first place at my locals with War Rocks.
What?
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 What the fuck?
Alright, let's see here. What?
What? NANI?
I know, it's very hard to believe, but I have the proof. You know, it speaks for itself. Now, I mean, sure, it was only 3 rounds. I didn't face the Asmanias, and I didn't face Yubel. But I did face Tenpei, and I did face Snake Eyes. So, I'm not going to waste your time or my time. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. So as you can tell by the title of this video, yes, I did place first place at my locals with War Rocks. Like I said, it was only 3 rounds. I didn't face a lot of the upper tier decks, but I did face 2 of them at least. So I'm just going to start off with opening up the packs first, kind of like what we did with my stun deck. So just going to do this one at a time. I'm not expecting anything much out of this. We got Samurai Destroyer, Right Hand Shark, and Flying Fang. Oh, that one's upside down. We got the Melodious Fusion spell. And last but not least is Absolute Backjack. So yeah, nothing too crazy. It's cool that we got the Samurai Destroyer for the Tenpei deck that I want to make at some point. You know, get a nice hollow of that. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's just go ahead and get right into the deck profile. I'm not going to go too in-depth with how this deck works, because I've profiled it in the past. It's infamous for how, you know, quote-unquote bad it is. But yeah, so people really know what, people already know what War Rocks are. So I'm starting off with the ratios, 3 Fortia, 2 Gactos, 2 Orpus, 1 Mahad, 2 of the Chief, and 2 of the Meteor Dragon. This ratio is, I kind of tampered with it a little bit, because the main guys that you want to really work with is Fortia and your 2 big guys, because it's a battle phase archetype. It's really focused on that. Kind of like how Tenpeis are, but they get their effects when they do battle with other monsters. Fortia is the Searcher, Orpus is the Foolish, and Mahmud is the Spell and Trap Destroyer. And if for the Chief, if a monster that you control is destroyed by battle by card effects, you can special summon from the hand or the graveyard, but he's banished. And if a monster you control battled this turn, you can have all your War Rocks gain 200 attack. That's another thing, is that the War Rocks, they gain 200 attack until the end of the next turn. So whenever they use their effects, and it applies to all of them. So realistically, they can get up to some pretty beefy bodies. But Meteor Dragon is definitely the star of the show when it comes to battling. Any monster that he battles, their effects are negated. And if he destroys a monster by battle, he can attack once again. And by using that effect, you know, they all gain 200 attack. And on top of that, he can't be destroyed by card effects. So he has really good protection too. And one thing that actually did come up is Rookie Warrior Lady. So she's basically like the Honest in reverse for this archetype, to where when one of your monsters battles your opponent's monster, they lose attack equal to their original attack. So pretty much any monster that your monster battles, when you use her effect, it brings their attack down to 0, which is really good to get over high level or high attack monsters. And it did actually come up in 2 games. One of them was actually Tenpei, so that was actually clutch. And the last monsters that we run in the deck is going to be 3-dimensional Shifter. Believe it or not, this deck isn't hurt too much by Shifter. So being able to utilize it to your advantage is always a good thing. And I did actually pull this off against a Snake Eyes player, and they, when I activated, they pretty much scooped, and we went to game 2. Now off into the spells, where this deck really shines. Got 3 Warrock Mountain and 2 Warrock Medium. I'm only doing 2 Medium this time because I wanted this one to be a going second focus deck, and I don't utilize this Floodgates effect unless it's the main phase 1. So if you're going into game 2 or 3 and they have you go first, that's where this card really shines, to where your opponent can't activate monster effects on the field during main phase 1. That's really good. And Warrock Mountain is your searcher and battle protection. And at the beginning of each battle phase, you can special summon a Warrock from your hand. Really, really good. But I think the best spell card that I think I have in this deck is honestly Ultimate Slayer. I was debating between this and Dark Ruler No More, but the reason why I like this one better is because, unfortunately, Dark Ruler No More, your opponent doesn't take any damage that turn, so you can't really OTK them or shoot or swing for massive damage when you activate it. This one, on the other hand, especially with boards that, Snake Eyes, Asmanias, Fiendsmiths, and all that, with the boards that they make, this can get rid of them relatively easily. So, and the best part about it is that this isn't once per turn. If you open up with multiples of these, you can activate both of them. I actually didn't know that until the other day when I was making this deck, and I was looking at it, and I actually read that it doesn't have a once per turn on it, so that's really good in a clutch. And the rest of the deck, spell cards, are just board breakers. We got 3 Dark Hole, 3 Regeki, Forbidden Droplet, Lightning Storm, Feather Duster, and Cosmic. It's basically the same ratio for my Scareclaw, is kind of where I got the idea for this, of just replacing the archetypes. But yeah, these board breakers, if you open up one of your board breakers and a couple of the Warrock support, you're good to go, honestly. And the rest of the spell cards are going to be Call by the Grave and Pot of Prosperity because, we like consistency. And the only 2 remaining cards in the deck are 2 Imperms. It's a going second deck, so you got to run the Imperms. That's it for the main deck. Really simple, straight to the point. Now into the extra deck. This is where it can get a little tricky because you're not going to go into the extra deck at all. The only one that I actually did go into was Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, because with your high-level attack, high-level monsters, you can make this card indestructible and immune to targeting, which is what I used against my last matchup. And once I was able to get this out, it was very hard for him to get over it. So this is the only card in the extra deck that I actually went into, and it was very late in the game. So I just used it to my advantage because I knew that I wasn't able to swing for a game with the monsters I had, but the board that I did have, I was able to make this in, and I was just able to sit on it, and it was hard for him to even make plays around it. And then the rest of the extra deck is going to be like Entist, Garuras. I wanted to do 2 Entist, but I can't find my second copy. So this is basically 2 Garura, 2 Entist for those who are wondering. But I never needed more than 1 Entist when I was using the Ultimate Slayer, so it was still good. 1 Omega for the Synchro portion of the Ultimate Slayers, and then for the Link one, for the Link target, I did the Tri-Brigade arms. So that way you can utilize its effect to also use the Garura to get a draw. And the rest of the deck, or the rest of the extra deck, was like stuff like IP, Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Unicorn, Access Code, and Boral Sword. Like I said, I never went into these, but they're good to have as backup plans in case you either run out of resources or, what have you. And the last 3, I just stuck these in because I wanted to put Baguska here, but like with Entist, I can't find my Baguskas anywhere. I know I have them, I just couldn't find them in time. So these are going to be 3 Baguskas, but for now, I just use them as prosperity fodder, which still worked out, so, And off into the side deck. 3 Spooky Dogwood. This card has become so relevant recently in terms of time rulings. The 3rd Medium, the 3rd Ultimate Slayer in case we needed them. 2 Triple Tactics Talent. This is probably the best card that I cited in, because my last matchup was Tier Element, and I used this against them, and it was absolutely nuts going game 3. Just absolute carnage. As soon as I played this in my first round, I made a mediocre board because he made me go first. I activated this. He literally just passed turn, and I swung for game the next turn. It was absolutely crazy. And one anti-spell fragrance, 2 dimensional barriers, and then finally the solemn package. In case we are having to go first. But guys, yeah, that is it for the deck profile. Like I said, I'm absolutely shocked. Because I honestly think that most of this was based off of luck, if I'm being honest. Because even I'll admit that the War Rocks aren't that great of an archetype. I mean, Tempe, they do battle phase Carnage a lot better, a lot faster, and a lot easier. So, I wasn't expecting to do much. It was more of just a test to see how far I can go. And would you know it, I went all the way to the end, surprising enough. But yeah, thank you for thank you for tuning in for another. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down below for notifications, and let me know what you guys think and what you want me to try and test at my locals next. Not so much with meta, but I want to see what other decks like Roar Rocks I can do and see how far I can go with them. But until then, we'll catch you guys in the next one.